welcome to the Counterattack Playthrough series. We're continuing with our Empire of the Sun campaign scenario. We are on turn 5, and this will probably be a two-parter as per usual. Before we get into it, definitely check out the comments on YouTube. I'm not going to always rehash them, but there's good comments from the last one, from the last video. Also, this game's been set up a long time. It's kind of disgusting. It's got like a layer of dust on everything. I'm going to have to dust every single piece. And my spouse would like her table back. So I don't know how much longer I can hold her off. So I'm going to try to get at least another turn out. Maybe this weekend I can get a couple out. But I don't know if I'm going to make through the whole campaign, but we shall see. You never know. So with that being said, let's go jump into the reinforcement phase. Okay, here's the incoming reinforcements here. Here's those that were delayed. We'll pull these into the game, go set those up in a minute. This American Army unit has to roll to see if it gets sent to Europe. The War in Europe track is now at level 2, if you remember that. It's worsened from level 1. That means on a 0 through 3, it's diverted to Europe. Got a 3, diverted to Europe. Okay, these guys all come into the delayed reinforcements box. And the Japanese we'll take care of. We'll go deploy these guys. Well, hold on. One thing I forgot. On the turn track, there were units potentially returning from Europe. They were delayed 3 turns ago. They were sent off to Europe. You have to treat them as if they were just coming in. So we'll do the air unit first. 0 to 3. Okay, get a 0. So he's staying in Europe. And then the land unit got a 3. All right. Anyway, see those guys in 3 turns. Okay, placing units. Now, this Marine unit I'm going to place in Guadalcanal. The main reason it's going there is that, well, let's see. Yeah, there's no troops there, but that there's ships there. And I've been making mistakes over and over where I don't have my units that are going to make amphibious assaults with ships, and so they can't have escorts. There's a Marine air unit here. We'll place it sort of... let's see, it's got a short range. Maybe we'll just throw it down in Kavieng here. Okay. And then Washington, oh, we need ships. Hurting for ships. Japanese right now have a major ship advantage, but we have an air advantage. Another long-range bomber. I'm starting to like these aircraft. I think we'll go ahead and put it in... I want to make sure it's within range of things, but we'll go ahead and put it in Buna right now. And then, yeah, let's see where those 2 British units are going to go. Well, they're going to go in Southeast Asia. This Indian unit, which makes sense, is going to start in Dhaka there. I'm not putting it down here, it's just very impacted down there. And then this cruiser will join the other cruiser in Colombo. Hoping the Allies will be able to put something together in Southeast Asia. I feel like they have a decent advantage, or, you know, it might just be slight, but now's the time for them to go for it. Okay, let's get those Japanese reinforcements down. Okay, this depleted army unit, I think we're going to throw it down in Surabaya, because I want to knock these guys out of the war, the Dutch East Indies out of the war. It's going to be tough nut to crack, actually, I think, but knock them out, get the U.S. political will dropped by 1 again. Then we have this Army Air Unit. I think it's going to get placed up here in Southeast Asia. We'll go ahead and place it in Hanoi. And then this Naval Unit, we'll keep it down with its naval buddies. I think we're going to put it in Palau. Support the situation down here. All right. Replacement phase. It's turn 5. The Allies are going to get 2 ground, 5 air, 1 Chinese. And then, I think I forgot this several turns, but if they control Oahu, they get an extra naval replacement. So we're looking at, yeah, 2 ground, 5 air, 1 China, 1 naval. Okay, let's do air replacements first. The only depleted air units are in this area. And yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. We have 5 air replacements. So these fighter medium bomber units that have a decent attack there and decent defense. We'll flip those, so that's 2. And then I thought I had more depleted units, but there's only 3 total. Okay. And then I looked in the dead pile. There are no air units in the dead pile, so I need to burn through my aircraft a little more. So I need to get a little more aggressive with the aircraft. The one naval replacement that we get because we control Oahu. Now, we certainly have some damaged ships down here. I have a full-strength Washington there. So since I have a full-strength Washington, I think I'm going to bring a carrier on. It's going to be depleted, unfortunately. And but by having a carrier on the board, I avoid a -1 political will. In fact, maybe I should go hide this, which is I feel ashamed of even suggesting it, but maybe I should. So we'll go ahead and throw that in Guadalcanal, though, because, yeah, and by having Washington there, I feel like it's a bit protected, unless there's like another submarine card. Yeah, so depleted land units. I don't think there are any depleted, like regular ground units. Regular meaning not Chinese, because Chinese have their own replacement situation. So yeah, let's just double check. Yeah, so the only depleted land units that would potentially be eligible are in Chile-Yap, and they're under zones of influence. So yeah, let's go check out the Chinese. All right, let's check out the Chinese situation. I'm pretty sure the toughest Chinese unit is here, and I can flip it. There we go. Yeah, I think that's all the Allied replacements, so let's go ahead and do Japanese. Well, the Japanese have no replacements, but I could pull divisions out of China. That's why I'm focused up here on this divisions in China track. I think I mentioned last time, as I pull divisions out of China, it gets easier for the coastal hexes of China to be attacked, and it also makes it more difficult for the Japanese to do China offensives. I haven't really focused on China offensives. We can see here at some point I must have done one because the China front is unstable, but I don't know. I don't have a good feel for that. It's like so abstract, I almost don't want to think about it. Like moving a marker on a track just isn't fun for me, but I get it. So anyway, we're going to pull 2 divisions out of China and then use those 2 steps is what it basically comes down to replace and possibly reinforce. Yeah, one of those 2 is going to be used to flip this guy that we just dropped in during the reinforcement phase. By the way, it is within range of the south headquarters, so we're good there. And then I think we're going to bring in one of our only depleted Chinese land unit, and I want it to come in. I need to get it down here, I feel, or maybe on these islands out here. Maybe we'll just bring it into Ulithi for now, and then figure some use for it later. Right now, at a minimum, it's going to defend a key island. Okay, strategic warfare segment. Only submarine warfare again. Allies are going to roll a 10-sided die. We got an 8. 8 minus the current game turn of 5 is 3. That's not less than 0. And then the Japanese last turn got some convoy escorts here. So that adds +2, so the Allies really rolled a 10. They don't have to add 1 for defective torpedoes. We are now in 1943. And they figured out the torpedo issues. But regardless, submarine warfare was ineffective this quarter. Okay, the draw strategy card phase of the reinforcement phase. So both sides get 7 cards. The Japanese have 13 resources. You divide it by 2, and that's how many cards they get. That's 6.5, but you always round up in this game, so 7. Then the Allies just get 7. They lose cards for like certain countries surrendering. Also, if the war in Europe level goes like too high, but we're still good. So everyone's 7. So let's look at the Allied card draw. So interesting offensive here. I'm not sure what this is. It's a lot of stuff to read. Burma Road. Okay, Southeast Asia perhaps. A Burma offensive. It says any headquarters though, so it's just flavor. Looks like it ends at inter-service rivalry. Okay, man. Allies are not in inter-service rivalry, by the way. China airlift. Okay, looks like we can help China if needed. So far, I've been ignoring China for the most part. Good little offensive, 6 logistics value. That's good. Another end inter-service rivalry. So hopefully we'll get to use these. Japanese will play inter-service rivalry card on us. U.S. Army breaks Japanese codes. Ooh, we can ambush. Ooh, haven't tried an ambush yet. That's basically the inverse of surprise attack. Okay, cool. And a reminder, the Allies do have 1 card in their forward operations queue. I think that's what it's called. That might be what it's called for the people, but something like that. Japanese cards. Naval Battle of Guadalcanal. That looks like a very nice Japanese card. It can bombard an airfield, looks like. I'm not reading the details here. Okay, another War in Europe card. That could come in handy. Just dropping at 1 more point will put us at level 3 War in Europe, so that might be a good card to save to the end. This is not applicable right now. Only played in 1944. It's a reshuffle marker as well, though. So Japanese haven't reshuffled yet. Their deck has been substantially thinned compared to the Allies. Ooh, this is good. Another submarine attack. Okay, I need to try to draw the Allies into a naval battle. Take out that carrier if I can. Another upper offensive. A reaction. Looks like I can cancel an offensive. Halsey's Typhoon. That's cool. Good book. Read that book if you're interested in this kind of stuff. Very interesting event. Okay, we're ready. So, initiative segment. Basically, we're at this point in the game. Japan always has initiative if both players have the same number of cards. That is, unless someone wants to play a future offensives card, but the Allies decline. So the Japanese, I think they're going to play one of their 2 War in Europe cards. If they played both of them, they'd be spending 6 ops to do War in Europe, if I wanted to play it for the event. And that would get us into level 3, but not into level 4, which could be cool. But like it's only going to drop by 1 point this year. This card, it won't count as 2 points like it did last year. So, you know, we got a few turns in 1943, so we might be able to get it down to level 4. So we'll save the other card for later. Yeah, we're going to do a 3 ops card. And we're still in an inter-service rivalry. There's no cards to cancel. It's amazing. Maybe that's by design. Maybe it's very rare for the Japanese to leave inter-service rivalry. But yeah, so 3 ops, south headquarters. That'll bring it up to 4. And then, yeah, so I think what I want to do is, well, I need to get some forces moving here. But yeah, this is sort of like a preparatory offensive, I think. So I want to activate this army unit down here, which is in range. I want to get it closer to Chile-Yap. And then the other 3 units probably activate this unit here. I'm just going to kind of start moving up. So I sort of noticed here, like China's not allowed to attack out down into here. So there's 2 hexes here. So whoever moves into those hexes is going to have 3 hexes against them. So at a minimum, I want to try to get the Japanese up there to block like the Allies getting through those hexes. So it'll also activate, I suppose, one of these. This guy. And yeah, we'll activate this guy too. So we got all land units, which is a pretty rare move so far in this game. Now we're going to move them. Cost 2 movement points. That was a 3 ops, but mixed cost 2. So this guy will just come up here. These guys will cruise over here. Someone pointed out to me that jungle is not as good of a defensive terrain as mixed. I misspoke in the last video. This guy will come up here. Okay, so I feel like I can handle an attack as long as allies don't do something crazy. And then if I can get a few more units up there, I could probably press up against the allied defenses, which are all in jungle. So then the guy down in Java, just moving 1 hex over here. You know, it's going to be a tough attack, but we're going to do that at some point. Okay, allies. Surprise, surprise, I'm focusing on the Solomons, New Guinea area. The Japanese, you know, they have a It's a tough force up here. Still a decent number of ships here. I was considering like a massive air raid on those ships, but their defense strengths are very strong, and the Allied air isn't so hot. In particular, the long-range bombers on the attack. So I think I need to just push my way up New Guinea. Just keep pressing, and attriting the Japanese ships when they react. So we're going to do Reforger 2, Invasion of Saipan and Tinian, except it's going to be moving stuff around. We're going to activate South Pacific Headquarters, which will give me 3 plus 4. Central Pacific's just a little too far away to do what I want to do. It's pretty close. It's barely in range to activate units, but it can't produce a battle hex. And I think I want to make a battle hex over here. So we're going to activate 7 units. Okay, what am I going to activate? Well, this is a good attack strength unit. Can activate that. I want to activate 1 land unit. Activate this strong unit here. Strong on the attack. What do we have back here? Might keep that guy there for the moment. Gonna keep 1 aircraft there. This marine unit has an attack strength of 8. Like it. That one's 6. Okay, it's not that great, but so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I need to do 7 total. So we'll go ahead and do a 6, 7. So essentially an air offensive. Then we're going to move. So I'm going to do a port-to-port transfer of this land unit here. Got zones of influence all over the place here, which means WEWAC is safe to travel to. So especially since it's not going to be a battle hex. So it's going to travel right into WEWAC and then go like this. So so that will prevent the Japanese from moving down the island. Now for the rest of these guys, this guy, we'll move him. He can go 1, 2, 3, 4 to here, and then a hop to here. That was a 3 ops card. Yeah, so we can do 3 hops. He only needs 2. And let's see, this guy is gonna do a short range 2 hop, so it doesn't have to use it extended range. So I should say a 2 hex hop. So 1, 2, 3, 4 to WEWAC. This guy's similar. 1, 2, 3, 4 to WEWAC. So now I believe all my units. No, I want this guy to hop as well. All these activated air units are within range of both of these hexes, which is what I thinking of doing. I'm kind of doing this seat of the pants, so this might be kind of dumb. Question is, do I want 1 or 2 battle hexes? I might just want 1. Yeah, looking at the situation, I don't think I have enough firepower to do 2 battle hexes, especially if there's a reaction. So we're going to declare this hex a battle hex. And the EC value is 5, so we got a 60% chance of the battle being detected, the offensive. And we got it. No ships passed through an enemy zone of influence that were participating in an actual battle hex. I'm not sure if the Japanese would have a bonus, because there was a ship that passed through it, but it was just doing a transfer. But I guess it's something to look up some other time, since it doesn't really matter right now. The Japanese, they will react. My thinking is, if they can maul the Allied air early in the turn, it'll make it harder for the Allies to conduct offensives for the rest of the turn. So they might throw a lot into this. We're going to have to figure this out. They will activate South Seas 2 efficiency plus 3 ops for the card, so they're going to activate 5 units, and that doesn't include the units here, which will automatically activate. So I think what we'll do is we're going to activate these 2 units here, and then up here in truck, I think we're going to activate the Nagato in the Congo. I hope I don't destroy them, but they got 14 defense, which will help, but Nagata's got a great attack. And does anyone else up here want to be risked? I don't think I want to risk the carriers just yet. Let's see, we got 4. I can do 1 more. So maybe we'll do this unit over here that was a reinforcement this turn, and you can just barely see it right there. They're going to move. This guy can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Oop, yeah, and I can overstack for the offensive. By the way, one thing people pointed out to me is last turn I flew an air unit right into a battle hex, and you're not allowed to do that. So that was one of my cheats, but that's not a battle hex, that's a battle hex. These naval units will cruise in there, and then yeah, I think this battle's ready. I'm going to sort of spread things out so we can see what's going on, and then we'll continue. There we go. Let's compute combat effectiveness. Solid Japanese critical hit. Allies a strong showing. Okay, so the Allies get to add 1 to their die roll because it's 1943, and they have U.S. air or aircraft carrier units in the battle. So that's just, I guess, their superior aircraft situation at this time. So anyway, both have a 9, but only the Japanese have a natural 9, and the natural 9 is required to have a critical hit. This is a major blunder, I think, on the Allies' part. I did not really think I had moved so much Japanese power into this area, but I guess I did an okay job as a Japanese. They have like, I don't know, 140 firepower roughly into the Allies. I don't know, looks like 40 maybe. So I'll do careful totals, and then yeah, we'll start doing losses. Yeah, so the Allies have 42 to the Japanese. I think it's 131. I'm gonna recalculate Japanese. 121. I think it's 121. I'll recalculate before. So, but yeah. So let's go ahead and do the Allies. 42. 42. Ugh. Yuck. Well, let's find those yellow dot units. 10 down to 32. Is there a 12er in here? No, there's not. Yeah, I was just trying to see if I can avoid losing 2, but 22. 12, and then 2. So 2's left over. Yeah, that's all we did. Man, now for some absolute devastation. 121 points. I don't think the critical hit will come into play, but let's see. So what the critical hit means, by the way, is I don't have to wait for every unit to be damaged to destroy them. Yeah, so let's just pretend there's no critical hit. There's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Is that it? 100? No, there's 6 units. That's 60 times 2, because both sides are 10. So 120. The Japanese brought 121 firepower to bear. They're all destroyed. Oh my gosh. Clearly, my play style, which is seat of the pants, doesn't quite work for this game. I should be thinking of my moves out very carefully. But you know, this video series is taking a long time, so I don't want to spend too much time thinking. Wow. I think it's safe to say the Japanese won. Of course, their air units are severely depleted. The Allies won't be able to do much about that right now. Try to wipe them out. So the 2 nice battleships are going to go back to truck. I think all the aircraft are going to stay down here in New Guinea. So let's take care of that. There we go. Well, we were overstacked here. So in top A. So one had to fly back to Palau. There's nothing for the Allies to fly back. Wow, that was just awful. But anyway, we're attriting. Okay, Japanese turn. We're here in Southeast Asia, Dutch East Indies. I did briefly consider trying to mop up the rest of the Allied aircraft in New Guinea and the Solomons area, but I don't think the Americans going to have much to do for the rest of the turn. I mean, they still have some force, but so I think I'm going to try to clean up over here. And so we're going to spin this card, which I was really tempted to use in the other theater, but it's going to be a 5 logistics value plus 1 for South headquarters, and this is going to be an army offensive, so 6. 6 units are going to be activated. So we'll go ahead and activate this unit here. It's going to assault Chile up. That's the plan anyway. This unit here, that's 3 out of 6. So some rules about Southeast Asia. No one can enter this portion of China, this 7 hexes, the 6 hexes around Kunming, except Chinese units. So Japan can't go in there, but then the Allies can't come through there either, other than China. But China is not allowed to go into French Indochina. It can only go in Burma, northern India, and the Kunming area. So these Japanese guys are safe. If the bridge over the River Kwai is not built and the Allies control Rangoon, the Japanese logistics value is lowered by 1, so I'd only be able to activate 5 units instead of 6. But that's only if I'm activating units in Burma, northern India, and things like that. And all the units I've activated so far are outside there. In fact, all the units of no units of Japan are in Burma, so I think we're good. So I got 3 more units to activate. I think this might be silly, but I'm going to enter these 2 hexes where the Allies can potentially clobber my units, but it's sort of a to tempt them into attacking very strong position. So yeah, I think this 20, this 18. Let's see, I've already activated 3, so I can only activate 2 more. Yeah, actually we'll activate this 18. So maybe I'll just move 1 unit up here. Or 2 units up there. We'll see. So yeah, mostly interested in down here though. Let's move these units. That was a 2 op card. That means I get 2 movement points. Just enough for these guys to get into Chile up. These guys, they're going to walk along the railroad, so they'll go 1. Then they can't walk along the railroad into this British-controlled Kotabaru here, which I think you can see that. But they still have 1 more movement point, and it's clear. So they'll go into there, capture Kotabaru, and all of Malaya is now under Japanese control. This aircraft is activated so that it can support the offensive in Chile up. So we'll come down here, 1, 2 hops, just enough to get in range. Up here in the Southeast Asian Peninsula, we'll go ahead and move these guys up here. Move these guys here, make a nice 24 defense right there. Maybe the Allies will be tempted to attack, maybe not. And yeah, so we have a battle hex down here, just 1, Chile up. Okay, let's roll to see if the Allies detect this attack. The EC value of the card is 5, so I need to roll 5 or less. Got a 9. It's not detected. Cool. All right. There's not going to be any air-naval combat because these guys are all reduced in here. Is that right? Yes, and you can't reduce. Oh wait, actually you can. You can reduce. You can use aircraft to reduce or destroy reduced units. You just can't destroy the last unit. So yeah, let's do some air-naval combat. The air effectiveness is. Can't see it. Oh, there we go. It's a 4. The modifier surprise attack plus 3, so that brings us up to 100% effectiveness. Okay, and since there are no enemy naval or air units present, they can apply that to hits against the ground. Yeah, okay, I didn't even think ahead and look at the attack value of this aircraft, but it's 20. So yeah, let's go ahead and take out this nice Australian unit. It is not a pre-war unit, so they might be reconstituted later. Okay, now for the ground battle. Surprise attack doesn't affect land units, so we'll go ahead and roll both dice for both players. Ooh, they're both bad. There's Japan, there's the Allies. So let's go Japan first. They're the only player with air units in the battle, so they get +2. But the defender's in mixed terrain, so that's -2, so it's a net of 3. A 3 is actually 100% effectiveness, so I'm cool with that. The Allies a 1, it's at half effectiveness, and there's no nice benefit for them. Not that it would matter, because this Japanese unit is pretty strong. So we're going to apply 18 to 12, destroyed, 3 to 12, no damage. Japan now controls Chiliap, which is, I believe, the final hex to capture to control all of Dutch East Indies. But I'll have to go check that out in the rules real quick. Okay, I checked it out, and that is not sufficient. You have to control Chiliap and all the resource hexes. I'm not sure I missed that earlier, but these pesky guys up here, yeah, they're holding out. Now, if I do nothing, they will attrit because I knocked the ABDA headquarters out, and normally headquarters come back, but this one has a yellow dot, so it will not come back. So if I do nothing else into the Dutch East Indies, they will eventually surrender, as long as the Allies don't recapture things. But so I'm good with that, and yeah, that ends the offensive. I'll go ahead and get everyone back in place. Yeah, so this guy, he might as well do some post-battle movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get him back up to what was that? Bangkok. All right. Okay, Allies' turn. So the Allies have to make progress of war. They have to capture 4 basically named places, whether that's a port, an airfield, a city, resource hex, whatever. I'm struggling to find something to capture. So I was initially thinking of a desperate Australian, New Zealand assault, because there's a lot of open spaces I realize that the Japanese left with their air units. Australians and New Zealanders could make it up and take these 2 resource hexes, possibly hold them for a turn, maybe 2 turns. So that'd be cool. I need, in terms of shipping, I need a 3 op card, and all my cards are 2 or 1 for the Allies. I was considering something similar up here, so the Japanese left a little opening in here, and I still might use this, but they could come down and land down in here, try to take those places. Suicide run probably, but that's still an option. But for starters, I think we're going to do an land attack in New Guinea to try to take Ayatape without drawing in the entire Japanese fleet to help. So I'm going to use the quadrant conference. It says Burma offensive, but we use 3 logistics value down here. And where's our little headquarters? They're over here. So 3 + 3 is 6. So we can activate 6 units. If the US were in an inter-service rivalry, this would cancel it, which is cool. But also, in addition, even though I'm in Burma here, the Allies may immediately construct the Jarhat transportation route for no cost. So that's a nice little bonus there. And just as a little reminder what that is. In northern India, there's some areas that have very little infrastructure, at least at the scope of this game. So we're going to create the Jarhat transportation route. And once a couple more, 1 or 2 of those other routes are built, it'll be much easier to do offensives up there. Also to supply China. In other words, to keep the Burma Road open. But anyway, that's cool. So yeah, let's go figure out what we want to do down here. Oh yeah, by the way, this card, I was thinking I'd initially play for the ops, since the chance of detection is only 30%. Well, if I do the EC, it's 50%. And if I do that, yeah, I can get up to 6 units instead of 3 units, or instead of 2 plus the headquarters efficiency. But building that Jarhat, that normally requires a 3 ops card, so I chose to do that. Only air and ground units may attack, So again, this is probably a high risk, silly attack on my part, but we'll see what we can do. Yeah, so let's activate 6 units from this headquarters. Go ahead and activate this unit, these air units. There's an air unit in here, I believe. Yes, this marine unit. Remember, the card does not allow naval units to be activated. And even though we can activate 6 units, I'm only going to activate 5. I don't want Rabaul to be left undefended. American headquarters cannot activate Commonwealth units, for example, the Australians. So we'll just do these 5. First, this movement here, these marine units are going to do a port-to-port transfer. So that was a 2-op card, 2 ops spent. So yeah, that means they can do 10 times 2 movement, which they're going to sail around here. There's very little Japanese air cover. You're going to land in Sarong here. And the reason I'm doing that is on another turn, I could assault into Vogelkop. Currently, the Japanese have 13 resource X's. You divide by 2, that's how many cards they get. We round up. So if I can knock one more out, I would take a card away. There's a decent chance 12 can take out the 12 here. If both sides roll 100%, the American Marines would win. And also, we can barely see here, but the Anzac headquarters is there, and that is allowed to activate Americans. Air unit hops. Well, we're going to do, we can do up to 2 hops to get within position. So we'll go ahead and hop over to Gazmata here. I think all the air units, those 3 air units, are within range of this place that I want to make the battle hex. It's probably a desperate and silly attack I'm doing. What do we have here? Oh yeah. So, yeah. That's it. Let's see if the Japanese detect. They have actually, I think it's a 60% chance of detecting this. It says EC4, so that's 50%. They got a 0 detected. Oh, man. There's a 2-op card. They're going to activate South Seas headquarters. That'll be 4 units. Here's Japan's chance to wipe out the rest of the American air power. So we'll bring in those 2 fancy battleships again. This unit out here, remember the inter-service rivalry, so we have to do Navy or Army. These guys will all activate inside there automatically, and then I guess we'll bring in this 10 guy here. So what I want, there's some ships in here. Oh, nah, we'll bring in the Yamato. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's move those guys in. We're gonna bring all these ships in. And then this aircraft, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's overstacked there, but that's okay during the offensive. Remember, I can't fly into the actual battle hex. So yeah, it's probably going to be another bloody battle for the Americans. Yep, as you can see, this is going to be pretty bad unless the Japanese roll really poorly. They did not. 7. Allies 5. So Allied Air Naval, they have an attack of 12. With 5, that's half. But then, since 1943 and they have better planes or pilots or whatever, they get to add 1. That pumps them up just barely enough to 100% for the Allies. So, and then the Japanese, they are also at 100%. Yes, yep. They're at 100%. And what do we have here? I think that's 75. Okay, so this is just awful. I'm just dumb, right? Okay, let's damage some of the. We'll destroy this guy. The Americans do 12 damage to this guy, which is a 10 defense. 2 is wasted. He'll never come back to the board though. Japanese, boom, boom, boom. This is 60 points worth of American air power wiped out. Now for the ground attack. Allies need a good roll. It's not that great. Japanese rolled the same, but they have a lot of advantages. So let's see, 6, that's 100% as the offensive player. They're attacking into mixed terrain. No, jungle. Attacking into jungle, so that's -1. They're still at 100%. And I forgot, only the attacker gets the bonus for only having being the only player with naval or air units, and so the Japanese won't get a whole lot of bonuses. In fact, they get none. So yeah, it's even Steven, 100% against 100%. So the Allies, they will do 22 damage to the Japanese. The Japanese do 9 back. Japanese are wiped out. You know, was it worth it? I don't know. You know, by me as the Allies sending in air units, it prevented the Japanese air and naval from bombarding the U.S. forces. So we take Ayatape, and I'm moving the progress of war marker up by 1. We just have to capture just 3 more. I'm going to move all the Japanese guys back to where they came from, and you know, this is probably a good break point for the first half of the turns video, so I'll catch you on the next video.